Yeah, sunny day. Good morning. This sunny day. It's a Saturday, but it's not really that sunny. It's an overcast over here where I'm at right now. Looking out the window, you can hear the birds tweet. All right. I hope you're all doing fine. I hope all doing good. This is the Panikadondon. We are back on the exit strategy and mastering the EFF exodus with Upani Control. Please do subscribe, do like, and share. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share, people. Yeah, with that being said, yeah, what's happening, guys? If you wanna hear what's happening just now, I was playing the playing the teaser, you know, our channel teaser, man. Not the channel, the series, unmasking the EFF Exodus, the series. You dig? So yeah, man, I was actually playing that. If you want to see, let me play it again for you. For those who didn't hear what's happening in here, the EFF Exodus. Yeah, welcome to yet another one. That's what YouTube says, right? So please do not forget to subscribe, like, follow if you are on Facebook, and share. Do comment down below if you feel like, you know. So yeah, man. Let's not waste no time. Let's get on with it. Right? It's messy. It's messy. It's messy. It's messy. Just like that, man. You know me, man. It's messy. It's messy, but we can all redo it. Let's rewind it. Let's start afresh. You know what I mean, man? Let's act like we were never here. Let's act like we were never here. Let's act like we were never here. So, yeah, man, we can rewind this and do it again. We can rewind this and do it again. Exit strategy, EFF, the series, the EFF Exodus.
As I was always a member of the ANC and doing my work.
I like to say morning to you too. morning from wherever you at. So let's get on with it. Today we are not going to waste any time because we are actually going to be looking at what we promised you yesterday. I promised you yesterday that we are going to be covering the Malema Zuma relationship because they were once allies and they became rivals. We were kind of like allies before the elections. And now, with the situation, it gives rival sense or sensation, if you may. So, yeah, man, let's get on with it. This is Upani Gandondo, your host. So, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share the content for others to get to see this series, if you get what I'm saying. Right. So please do like, share, and comment. Okay. Do you get what I mean, man? That's all I would like for you to do for me, guys. But otherwise, I don't want to waste no time. I don't want to waste your time. I want to get on with it without wasting any further ado, without wasting any time. As you can see here, it says like, share, follow, subscribe. I'm going to leave it there for the rest of this broadcast. Yeah, man. Once more again, we're meeting and we'll be talking about the EFF. Doesn't end at all. It's only the beginning, my people. It's only the beginning. So today we are diving into a political saga, the one that we know. And we know that me and politics, we kind of like same blood. We understand that politics is the system that moves life, man. More especially if you're having things, if you're having things that you own, you know. Otherwise, things that are natural, they all belong to you. But if you have things that are man-made that you need to insure, so the government is your insurance company. So yeah, man, and the government comes from politics. So we got to know that we have to unfold the political saga over nearly two decades. Right now, these two guys have been the talk of the town. A journey that started as a powerful alliance has now seemingly turned into a rivalry or political moves or games. Yes, we're talking about Julius Malema and JZ Gezehlekisa, Jacob Zuma from Ngandla. So I don't want us to talk too much today. I just want us to view, to look, to go down the memory lane. Let us check these guys were back then when they used to talk, when they used to vouch for each other. Remember, in order for Jacob Zuma to be a president, he was highly supported by Malema, right? You remember that, right? But also, in order for Malema to start a party, he had to be expelled under the administration of Jacob Zuma in the ANC. But also, you have to remember that for Jacob Zuma to finally resign from the ANC as the president, he was being pressed down by the EFF, the vote of no confidence, and until he resigned. But let us not forget that also, in order for the MK party, or before the MK party took off after Zuma resigned, he had a tea time with Malema. Remember that? And also, after the tea time, there was MK Party formed just before the elections of 2024. And also, we must not forget that had a very great impact on costing the EFF a lot of votes. As a result, they lost a lot of votes, and as many other parties were hiking and thriving in their political journey, EFF went down. But we should also remember that when the MK Party was formed and registered, a member who was an active member, a person who was an active member of the EFF, what helped the MK Party to get registered. And also must remember that after the EFF took the blow with a smile, saying MK Party took their people back. That's how they got a lot of votes. And then making MK Party wanted, I think, third party, yes, coming after the DA. That was the most voted party, one of the most voted parties in South Africa. So after that, few days down the line, few months down the line, deputy president of the EFF party crossed the floor, went to MK, now is an active member of MK. You would say these two parties should be enemies by now, but because of similar principles and the political ideology that they embrace, it made it easy for this deputy president to go that side. But you'll never know what's happening behind the scenes, because then again, the president of and the founder of EFF, Julius Malema, didn't take this blow as a threat to his party, but rather as a personal decision that was taken by this guy. Until later on, when he revealed that he didn't really like this move, but rather he preferred it because now he knows who he's dealing with. And then after that, the door of the exodus was open. But even prior Shivambu's departure, EFF members were resigning from EFF, but not in the rate that they are right now after Shivambu has opened that gate. So a lot of guys now, they are going to the EFF. Even the person who helped MK Party get registered, of which I thought that could have been the first person who would have crossed the floor. But in our eyes and everybody else's eyes, we saw that he had crossed the floor a long time ago when he was helping Jacob Zuma in his most cases that he faced, and also helping the MK Party to get registered. That is Dalimbofu, who has recently announced that he also had left the EFF to join MK Party. So with this history, a little bit of history, you would strongly say, see now, actually it's not clear if these guys are enemies or are friends, or they are trying to build up a new political regime. I don't know, some way of coming up with an opposition that is going to be very much strong and confusing, because it is right now. Because seemingly it's like we as the people we are expecting that these two leaders to actually hate each other because of what is happening. We are expecting Malema to hate MK Party because his leaders or his people are going to MK Party. But rather he is taking it as like, oh, okay, everything now is revealed. Now I know who's with me. Now I know who's not. That's how he is. That's how he's responding to all of this resignations from his fellow members, the ex EFF members. So let's take you back a bit, way back before or during the time Jacob Zuma was was endorsed to be a president, or after he became a president, what Malema was saying about Jacob Zuma back then, and then we'll hear what Zuma was saying about Malema back then, and then we're gonna take on off with our show today. So yeah, man. With that being said, let us fix our eyes on Gezehlekisa. Jacob's Gezehlekisa. As you can see that, let me take you down some memory lane.
The apartheid regime is still involved. The imperialist is still involved. There are people who have always wanted to oppress the black man, and they're still doing the same now. They are using the progressive laws of the ANC to discredit the good leadership of the ANC.
What do you guys think about that?
So that they can be projected, leadership of the ANC can be projected as leadership which is not responsible, very irresponsible, which can't govern. So it's counter-revolutionary forces which are determined to derail, even to reverse the gains of our revolution. Even internationally, there are forces which wants to micromanage the government of the ANC, and they think with Zuma they can succeed. So they need a puppet. After Mbeki, they would have wanted a puppet. I don't know which puppet is that one. It's for you to say this is the type of puppet perhaps they're looking for, but they wouldn't want somebody who stand firm in defense of the democracy and sovereignty of our country. It's very important, so that our country does not owe its loyalty and accountability to outside world. Instead, is accountable to its own people here at home.
Let's hear that.
One of the most important people in the country has contributed to the collapse of the apartheid regime, and he continues to play a role, and a positive role in the development of young people. He has got an education fund, and its role is to take young people to school. He grew up in a disadvantaged area where he has been helping many people, especially those who come from the poor background. Now, that person qualifies to be a role model. Anybody who's prepared to lend a helping hand and who cares about others is a role model. And Zuma represents that very
much. So yeah, that's what he used to say about Jacob Zuma back in the day. He used to say Jacob Zuma is a role model. Jacob Zuma is a role model for Malema. Let me not say much. Let's move to what Jacob Zuma used to say about Malema back in the day. This is 2009, 14th December. The one that I'm about to show you right now. Right. It's like it's one of the old videos. The one that we just saw now, it's obviously a video during that era too. So let's hear out what is Gezehlekisa saying about Malema. What was Gezehlekisa saying?
Who we are, etc. That will go a long way. A societal education. The youth saw in him a leader, and they did elect him as a leader. And we are talking to Malema. What we did not do is to address these issues in public. We have been. And when he says, look, I need to learn, because he knows we engage with him, with his collective, and we have done so all the time. And there is nothing strange insofar as the ANC Youth Leaguers speaking in the manner in which they do. People don't know what our icon Matiba used to say when he was in the youth. They would say, no, this was not Matiba talking. because that's how the youth does. But it is true, whatever we say, even at the level of the youth, we must not say things that provoke people. Nobody asked me to boycott the.
So yeah, guys, that's what Jacob Zuma would say about Malema back in the day, just because Malema would vouch for Jacob Zuma or was vouching for Jacob Zuma. And but basically, if you were listening to Zuma's words, if you are one of those people who does listen to what is not being said, I think I like doing that a lot, because what I hear the president saying, that Jacob Zuma is saying, is that what Malema was saying or doing that time, of which is the same thing that is saying right now and doing, are the things that they could not say and do as the old or senior members of the ANC. But that's what the youth does, because these are the same things that Nelson Mandela would do back in the day when he was still a youth too. So basically, Zuma here is saying Malema was doing what the youth does. But I feel like Malema is still doing the same. So Malema would say that back in the day when he was actually vouching for Zuma to be in power, that time, he would say they need someone who is going to fight for the status quo of the ANC that says Black people first. Seemingly, Thabo Mbeki was not doing that, so they removed him with the help of Malema, of course. And Malema said Jacob Zuma is a role model because he's someone who was advocating for that, actually. That was before he became the president. And when he was the president, he did have the student fund that he raised. I don't know if it was not there during Thabo Mbeki. But then again, did he address the land issue that Malema was always talking about? That again had put Malema in trouble when he was raising it during the reign of Zuma. He said, hey, ANC, we should look into this. The resolution of the conference we had that says we need to address the land question. That had him disciplined. He went to a disciplinary hearing. He got suspended. He got expelled. He kind of like also he did appeal many times, and the ANC was like, no, man. Nah, not you. I think he did appeal for the first time. When he did try to appeal for the second time, they were like, nah, you're in trouble, my guy. So, yeah, up until now, he decided to open what? To start what? The new political party. He had already like had his collective, as you heard Zuma was saying. So when he was expelled, obviously they were expelling all of those guys. Now tell me, I'd like for you to tell me, if they would expel Malema during that time when he had a lot of people behind his back, knowing for sure that if he leaves and joins a different party or opens up a party, they will lose a great number of people, and mostly the youth. They didn't care about that, right? I feel like all they cared about is the old people. If the old people are still voting at the ANC, therefore the ANC will still be in power. But even during that time, that was the time when they already lost a chunk of voters to cope, and then they did risk this towards the upcoming elections. This happened in 2011, 2012, 2013. I think that's when EFF was 2013. That's when EFF was founded. Towards 20 what? There were elections that were coming up, I think, from 2009 when we voted 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm not sure when we will go to vote again. But yeah, anyways, they lost to the EFF. They lost a big chunk number of EFF, and the EFF raised above. So, rised above the numbers that were expected, because it had 6, or the first time we voted for the EFF, it had 6%. The second time it went up to 11 or something like that. But my question is, when the ANC people not aware that if they are expelling Malema, he won't make a huge change when it comes to votes. Obviously, they did. I feel like this was an inside job when they sent him out to go and open a party there, get it ready so that there is going to be a crack in the ANC, because that was already happening after they pushed out Thabo Mbeki. So there was a fraction already inside the ANC. They were already divided. So as they were divided, obviously, I feel like the other group was like, okay, let's go and prepare another party outside the ANC. They named it Economical Freedom Fighters, as you can hear that one, because ANC was no longer focusing on that, on empowering the blacks, but it was trying its policies, but it was moving very slow according to these guys. But now, fast forward, the capitalist or the capitalism in the ANC showed up, and then people got really corrupt. They only cared about business, and then the ANC of Ramaphosa was born. Now I think that this was the time that they were preparing for. The time whereby there will be this sellout ANC, as they call it, because now it's in bed with the guys that they were fighting against all along. This is how ANC was founded. It was founded on the principles of fighting against the people who never valued the rights of the blacks in the land of the blacks, who never valued Africans in the land of Africans, according to these guys who fractured away from the ANC. And now I feel like they were plotting on the side, or trying to initiate these parties on the side that held and preserved the cultural values or the ancestral values of ANC that say Africa for Africans, the Pan-Africanism in it. So the same thing that Malema was accusing of Zuma of when he started the EFF is the same thing that they're accusing him now of, as they are running away from him, but going to Zuma. But they were going to Malema saying that Zuma is no longer doing or what he promised. Seemingly now he's already again doing the same thing he's promising, because he's not in office, but he wants to be in office, back in office, and then he's doing the same thing that he was doing back in 2006, 7, and 8, promising them that he will take the land back to Africans. And now they are running away from Malema, who was also blowing the same trumpet, saying, I am going to take the land away from the corporate South Africa back to the masses. And then now the guys who are running away from the EFF, they are claiming that, nah, Malema is losing that principle now. The EFF is no longer focusing on that. Now they rather go across the floor and go to the MK party, of which is standing strongly for that. Of which you only found out yesterday. I mean, yesterday, right? The last episode, whereby they were saying MK party was formed by the royal people. I don't know in KwaZulu-Natal or South Africa or where, but the royal houses are involved in the formation of MK, and there are also other individuals, as much as EFF is also hands-on in that. Like a lot of guys of the EFF were there during the inception of MKP party. When decisions were made, it's either they endorse EFF or they launch MK party, and then they just decided to launch MK party so they can rally against the ANC with many more parties that are actually talking the same, having the same voice, which is the voice of the lefties, the revolutionaries, or the revolutionists. So people are saying we need change, we need human rights to be embraced and practiced fully. We need equality, basically equality in all facets of life. It could be economically, it could be educational, and so the ANC that is being voted into power by the people is not actually doing that. So that's why now they're having this opposing side that strongly oppose, and they are now, if we are focusing on the left, basically they are also having this rivalry type of relationship. But we don't know, man, what is this exodus coming about, and we are about to see a lot. So yeah, guys, we all know that these guys liked each other, right? But there were times whereby Malema and Zuma never saw the same way. Now, when Zuma was the president, Malema didn't feel like Zuma was against them back then. He never really. He felt like they were plotting against them, him and his collective, so that Zuma can kick them out of the party. So we are going to check that out as well. And then we're going to get to the latest news now about these two guys. But basically, I would like for us to actually also look at this just before we get to the latest news, the latest developments and stuff. So what was Malema saying back in the day about Zuma?
ANC Youth League President Julius Malema refused that there were any problems between the Youth League and President Jacob Zuma. Speaking to journalists in Johannesburg, Malema said there were people who wanted to discredit the Youth League to the president.
So these people who go around saying we don't want President Zuma and all that, they are just using President Zuma to campaign against us. And they want to create a fight between ourselves and President Zuma. There is no fight between us and President Zuma. President Zuma is supported by this organization. And there is no single individual in this collective who has gone out to discredit and decampaign President Zuma.
He disputed media reports that former President Thabo Mbeki was invited to the Youth League's elective conference, which will be held later this month.
President Mbeki is not speaking in that conference.
Is he invited?
President Mbeki is not invited. There is one president of the ANC, and that is President Zuma. He's uncontested. There is nobody who will contest President Zuma. Nobody. If you want to suffer a political humiliation, you must even think of contesting President Zuma. between now and 2012 conference of the ANC.
So yeah, that's what Malema was saying when he was vouching for Jacob Zuma back in the day. Jacob Zuma, no one was contesting him, but when he got out, there was like a number of candidates, up to 9, I think, in 2017, 16. I don't know, man, around the time when we voted though. But there were people around 9, like there were like a lot of them. So they did manage to put Zuma into power back in the day. But later on, they also managed to take Zuma out of power, right? So we know this is a political game, guys. They are going on each other year in, year out. But I feel like there's something that is being hidden. There's something that we are not being told here that these guys are up to. Basically, it's fine because conspiracy is what they're feeding off, and they like that too, so that we wouldn't focus on what they are actually supposed to be doing. Things such as service delivery, because now this guy is fighting over policies. This one moving away from a party that he formed, he helped form or helped start. Now he's crossing the floor, going to another party, as if in that part these things are already happening, or that party is holding the current government accountable for service delivery. These guys are no longer focusing on that, but they're just focusing on their political affairs. Like now, who's gonna go next? What's the mandate of the EFF as an opposing party in the parliament? Are they getting that out, or they are just finishing off their energies on these political games? Man, these games must be played when it's towards the elections, not now. Unless they are preparing for something, there's something that is going to happen, then they can do all of these things. Then we can focus on that. If probably, let's say, they will have a vote of no confidence against the current president or something, then we can focus on that. But in this rate, they are moving in, whereby this exodus and it's like we are being derailed, or we are being taken away from what we should be focusing on, because I strongly feel like there's something that we should be focusing on that is happening in the country, or rather, we are being negligent right now towards holding the government accountable for what they're supposed to do, because we pay these guys, right? Yeah. Anyways, with that being said, we can see that I don't know if this is a crack or a game. The Malema Zuma relationship. We are still watching Panagatondo here, and we are unmasking the EFF Exodus. This series is called Exit Strategy. This is episode number 4. The Malema Zuma relationship. Please do like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, do comment. What do you think is happening? Do you think this is a real war between the MK party and the EFF? Or do you think what McDonald said yesterday, the EFF is trying to take over the MKP party, the MKP, and that they have been cooking this pot for a very long time now? And what do you think is happening, really? Do you think EFF is coming to an end, or what? What do you think is happening, guys? Just tell me down on the comment section. Exodus. EFF Exodus episode 4, guys. This is Barney Kantondo coming to you live on the screens. Now let's move along to the next segment of today's. So yeah, man, we are not really sure if this is just a game, or these guys are real rivals, or they're just playing our minds, they're just playing with our minds and stuff. As you can see here, these guys, man, they'll be laughing together, smiling together, having tea together. This guy is laughing, this guy is doing this. Others are saying the guys who are going to the EFF, they have, I mean, to the MK party, they have Malema's blood. Therefore, the MK party must watch out. Is this a game? Or are they playing with our minds? I don't understand. You'd see back in the day Zuma and having fun with Malema there, you know, cutting cakes together. But today we're expecting them to be rivals. Are you serious, guys? Are we expecting these guys to actually, like Zuma is trying to end EFF? Is what you are saying? No ways. If EFF ends, that would be deliberate, and that would be done deliberately. Honestly speaking, that won't be actually by coincidence or by force or because MK party his agenda was to end. If it is not to end it, but to kind of like convert it into green from red. That's it. That's the only thing, man. For me, that's what I feel. I feel like these guys is just playing with us. They're just playing with our minds and stuff. And all you gotta do is to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, that's it for me, man. That's the longest episode out of this series. Don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe.